This actually happened in the remote town of Coldwater, where every night flickering lights danced beneath the frozen surface of Lake Glacia. The locals had long been accustomed to tales of spirits, yet these lights were different, enigmatic and relentless. As dawn broke, the ice lay undisturbed, concealing the chilling secrets beneath. It was a spectacle that drew both believers and skeptics alike, each hoping to decipher the mystery that was the vanishing glimmers underneath. Whispers of ancient spirits swept through the town, tales of souls trapped beneath the ice, yearning for release. For generations, these stories had merely been folklore, but as the lights persisted, curiosity turned into obsession. Among the townsfolk was a team of scientists, led by the skeptical Dr. Reed, determined to prove a logical explanation. They arrived armed with equipment, ready to dispel myths and reveal the truth behind the ethereal glimmer beneath the frozen expanse. Coldwater's residents watched as the scientists set up at the edge of Lake Glacia, their devices humming to life in the frosty air. Dr. Reed was confident. The lights were electromagnetic anomalies waiting to be measured and explained. But as the team began their tests, something peculiar happened. Unheard frequencies resonated through the air, sending shivers down the spines of even the most steadfast skeptics. The readings were unlike anything they had ever seen, hinting at a power far beyond their comprehension. As night fell, the lights beneath the ice became more frenetic, pulsating with a rhythm that seemed almost purposeful. The town gathered, watching the dance of colors with a mixture of awe and fear. The scientists worked frantically, capturing data, their breath visible in the biting cold. But as the hours wore on, a new, overwhelming sensation gripped them, a feeling that something was watching, waiting. It was as if the ice held a presence, one that was aware of their every move. The relentless flickering began to form patterns, sequences that seemed intentional, almost like messages. Dr. Reed, skeptical yet intrigued, considered the possibility of a natural explanation, perhaps geological phenomena or trapped gases. But these rationalizations faltered as the sequences continued, growing more complex. Some townsfolk, convinced these were more than mere lights, suggested they were pleas for help, communications from a world long forgotten. A chilling thought took hold. What if the lights were indeed trying to convey a message from beneath? That night, sleep eluded the town as the glimmers intensified. The scientists, exhausted but driven by their mission, analyzed the data, attempting to decode the sequences. Each night brought new patterns, and with them, an escalating sense of urgency. The ice, once solid and unyielding, began to crack ominously, echoing across the lake like a groan of warning. The realization set in that time was running out. The lights were not just signals, they were a countdown. As the next day dawned, the townsfolk gathered with trepidation, their eyes fixed on the lake. Some muttered prayers, others stood silent, transfixed by the spectacle. Dr. Reed's team, now engrossed in the phenomenon, worked tirelessly, their skepticism waning with each passing hour. A sense of unease settled over them, as if they were intruding upon a sacred place. The air was thick with anticipation, thick with the fear of what might emerge once the ice finally gave way. Dr. Reed, driven by a blend of curiosity and dread, ventured onto the lake's surface. Ice cracked and groaned beneath his feet, the lights beneath pulsating with increasing vigor. The team watched, holding their breath, as he placed sensors directly on the ice. The readings went off the charts, flooded with energy and sound, a symphony of signals weaving through the frozen depths. Something ancient and powerful stirred below, waiting for its moment to break free. As the sensors relayed their data, a picture began to form, a map of interconnected energy flows beneath the ice. It was as if beneath the lake lay a vast, buried city, alive with dormant energy. The patterns were unmistakably structured, resembling ancient designs and shapes. The glimmers took on new meaning, a desperate Morse code from another time, an SOS trapped within the ice, its message now clear: release us or face the dark force that binds us. As the scientists pieced together their findings, a heavy silence fell over them. They stood on the brink of revelation, caught between disbelief and an overwhelming sense of responsibility. The lights, seen now as cries for freedom, were no longer just a mystery, but a plea. An ancient burial ground, a civilization long forgotten, lay beneath them, with restless souls reaching out, yearning for liberation. And yet, with this realization came a dreadful question. What had imprisoned them to begin with? The townsfolk, once skeptical, now shared the scientists' urgency. Their ancestors' warnings echoed in their minds. The lake held not only the souls of the past, but also a sinister force. Stories of a malevolent entity, a guardian of the trapped souls, circulated among the gathered crowd. Whatever resided beneath was not content with capture. It was an ancient warden, ready to unleash its wrath if disturbed. The ice was a prison and a seal, keeping darkness in check. With the ice cracking louder each day, Dr. Reed's skepticism was replaced by urgency. The readings grew more erratic, the energy beneath the ice more volatile. As tensions rose, a council was formed, a collaboration of science and superstition in a desperate attempt to protect their town. They debated ways to communicate with the souls below, to understand their plight before resorting to drastic measures. There was no manual for dealing with ancient specters, only the hope of preventing disaster. The nights grew longer, filled with the dance of lights and the haunting sounds of cracking ice. The town no longer slept, keeping vigil by the lake, drawn to its cursed beauty. Dr. Reed, now a believer, led efforts to develop a device capable of resonating with the frequencies below, in hopes of responding to the trapped souls. It was a race against time, against the awakening of a force they could not comprehend, something ancient, hungry, and waiting. One fateful night, the device was ready, a contraption of wires and resonance chambers designed to send a signal beneath the ice. The town gathered around, their breath visible in the cold night air, eyes wide with hope and fear. As Dr. Reed activated the device, a low hum vibrated through the frozen surface, mingling with the glimmers below. A moment of silence followed, as if the world itself held its breath, waiting for a response from the depths. The response was immediate and overwhelming. The lights beneath the ice surged, patterns shifting into new, complex sequences. The air vibrated with a resonance that rippled through the gathered crowd. It was a communication, an acknowledgement of their efforts. But with it came a warning, a violent tremor as the ice began to crack in earnest. The lake roared as unseen forces collided beneath, threatening to break free. What had they unleashed in their attempt to understand and aid? Panic spread through the town as the ice threatened to give way. The air was filled with screams, the ground trembling beneath their feet. Dr. Reed and the townsfolk, torn between retreat and resolve, worked frantically. They adjusted the device, trying to calm the turmoil beneath. But the entity, the dark force that had kept the souls imprisoned, stirred mightily, its presence now fully realized. An ancient guardian, angered by their intrusion, ready to unleash chaos. With great effort, Dr. Reed recalibrated the device, focusing on the frequencies that resonated with the spirits below. A calm returned as the light slowly stabilized, patterns once more shifting into coherent signals. The town watched in breathless anticipation, the air thick with tension and hope. The malevolent entity responded with one final tremor, a warning that echoed through the night. The lake was still dangerous, but for the moment it was pacified, held back by the device's harmonious resonance. The night passed with the town on edge, their fate uncertain. They watched the lake in shifts, fearful of the entity's next move. But as dawn broke, a new understanding took hold. The souls below were not their enemies but kin, trapped by a force beyond their time. The town resolved to safeguard this knowledge, to protect the lake of their ancestors, and ensure the malevolent entity remained dormant. It was a tenuous peace, one they would have to vigilantly maintain. In the end, the revelation was both humbling and terrifying. The phenomenon was not a simple natural anomaly but a burial ground, an ancient civilization trapped beneath the ice. Their souls, using the lights as a Morse code, had begged for freedom before the awakening of the dormant, malicious entity. The town had narrowly averted catastrophe, but they knew the danger was far from over. The lake was a living testament to a past they could not fully understand, forever bound to protect. If you're watching this in the dark, remember, some mysteries are better left unsolved. In Coldwater, the vanishing glimmers underneath serve as a haunting reminder of forces beyond our comprehension. Subscribe for more stories that will chill you to the bone and keep you questioning what lies beyond. Stay tuned for the whispers in the dark, where truth is stranger than any fiction. Until next time, keep your lights on and never ignore the signs beneath the surface.